Hey everybody, Scott here for the Helix channel. It's Friday. Normally I would have a free set Friday, but today I was so goddamn busy putting together a night's worth of presets into a single bank on the Helix. Whew! I'm going to show you how I did it, and the why is pretty self-explanatory. I don't want to be tap dancing all night. So now I've got a single pair of banks, because I'm using the 8 snapshots mode. So I've got basically, 8 sets of 8, 64, and not even using that many. We're using about 50. So let me show you how I did it. Here's a decent view of the whole thing. Now, the way that I'm making this work is by having a lot of repetition. And, over the course of the set, we play stuff from The Cure. And I'm going to need, I'll need a clean sound with a bunch of modulation and some pitch shifting. So I've got that. I'll need some low gain stuff, some high gain stuff. I'm not using every single snapshot. I'm doing a lot of overlapping, but there are certain songs where, you really just can't do anything but, Panic Station by Muse has some real specific octave fuzz stuff in it. And then I got to the point where I had one extra preset. Actually, I'm gonna have two. Because we'll be doing How Soon Is Now, probably not this weekend though. But so I'll have to integrate. I had to integrate Creep. I wanted it to be in this first bank, so I took on Panic Station, took the clean preset or snapshot, copied it, basically just by touching and then touching that one. Then it'll ask you if you want to copy. Simple copy method. Copied it up there, made a few changes, went over to the Creep preset, and I wanted the what do you call it? The tremolo to be exact. So what I did was hit the action button, copy, came back over to the other preset, which was Panic Station, and just dropped it in, and then found a blank spot. Then you can just hit paste. So copied and pasted it on both of the signal paths because they both get used on this particular preset. It's an even split. Whereas my Creep one is not. There's a single clean and then dirty. But on this one, this actually is a nice thing. There's just enough room for me to, probably more than enough room to add the two tremolos. And then I just took the fuzzy from down here, moved it up here, and if you look at the fuzz on the Muse tune, the fuzz gain isn't that high, but then up here, I really cranked it. So it's going to suit that song, and it'll suit it really well. Here's another good thing. I'll be able to put How Soon Is Now on one of these snapshots right here and keep the whole thing into in the same, single bank. I'm using some of the new 8 snaps, and they are super helpful. This one has great acoustic sounds, good clean sounds, good high gain sounds. Same with the Tweed Z, really good vintage clean. I'm doing all the Beatles stuff on this particular one right here. And most of the heavy stuff on the 8 snap Marshall. And then I'll go between the 8 IBZ clean, which is, a really good modulated sound, and then high gain for songs like Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. I only need 2 snapshots for that. And then pressing forward on the expression pedal gives me leads on any of the snapshots, which is great. So I've only got a few other songs that are just basically, one-off kind of things because, you know, I believe in a thing called Love by The Darkness. Has a very specific intro, harmony leads. I've still got 4 more snapshots, so I can fit more songs, so I'll be able to do Killer Queen in this particular one, which will be great. And keeping it into a single bank. The Blur Cult is super helpful because I've got that song 2 by Blur, and then She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult, and then I can do Beatles. I can do 80s songs like Hold Me Now by Thompson Twins. I can do Badfinger, what's it called? Dun, 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 dun. No Matter What, that's the one. On the 70s Dirty, on the 80s Dirty, I can, I've added some effects, so it's basically the same tone, and then I can do the affected part of that song. So, and then Badge is another case where it's got one specific sound, which is the rotary, but now I've got 6 more snapshots, so I've got room to grow, which is nice. But being able to fit it all into a single bank, whew, that's priceless. There you go, everybody. Now I've got to take all of these presets and load them into the backup Helix so I can bring it to the gig and not have to, sweat any kind of mechanical failure. Because that's honestly the only real fear for me is that it could completely go down. And I'm realist. I'm a realist. And I know that shit just happens sometimes. So having a backup is incredibly helpful and just offers a level of peace of mind that you can't get otherwise. You don't really need another Helix as a backup. The atomic amplifier is a great one, I think. I think it's probably the best one for the money. It's only $5.99. There are other units out there as well. The Blue amp, I think it's called, from 1 amp, or Blue Guitar. I don't know, something like that. Also a good backup. What else would make a nice backup? I guess, like an RP1000, Digitech, just, if you needed it. But it offers some peace of mind, that's for sure. So I will be back on Monday, and I'll report on what happened this weekend. I've got 2 gigs. I haven't had 2 gigs, and tonight's a 4-set gig. 4 sets tonight, 2 sets tomorrow. It's a lot of sets. And this guitar is still down. Oh no. I've got another Les Paul in here that's a loaner I borrowed from a friend. But it's got a capo on it, and it's going to get used for 1 song, God willing. The Ibanez will take the brunt of the night, and then that one just for 1 song. My capo doesn't fit on that neck, it's too skinny. What are you going to do? Anyway, I'll see you on Monday. Oh, don't forget, check out my website. And you can pre-order the 8 Snaps preset package. There's a link in the description. Just click the show more. There you go. So, I'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend. And until then, rock on.